up, everybody? FSC Trucking. I wanted to show you this today. We've been running for a little bit. Got this wide load here. This little solo mix feeder mixer deal. Not really exactly sure what it is, but I've hauled a few of them. Maybe once every year I probably get one. Seems like I get them always around the holidays. Not sure why that is. Or perhaps I do know why that is. The holidays make hauling wide loads problematic. And my routing, I really don't understand why it has to be this complicated. So let me go ahead and show you what's going on with this and why it's wide. This is annoying. This is the annoying part of wide load trucking. But whatever it is, what it is, we'll get through it. We'll get through it together, right? I guess I should start off by introducing the star of the show. Star of the show is Orwell, 1984 Peterbilt, 362 Cabover. And then of course there's me, Steve Festjet, your humble host. All right, so let's get on with it. Look at this trailer, look how wide it is. Like look, like seriously, look. It doesn't stick out wider than my mirrors. Seriously, back up a little. Yeah, you see? It ain't wider than the truck mirrors. It's under 10 feet. Like, that's not, like, that's smaller than them strikers we do. Ay, ay, ay. But nonetheless, the routing is insane. This is probably a better shot of how wide it actually is. See, it's a little wide on the top and a little wide right here at this chute right here. This sticks off a little. Just a little. Come around the other side. Right there, see? Thing with these is they're actually a little heavy. They're heavier than they look, I'll tell you. Now I keep it as far forward as I can. And usually on some trucks, they put you right at the limit on your trailer tires. Right about 34, maybe a little over. Once you permit them, you're permitted for 12 on a steers, 40 and 40. So you're good there with the weight. Thing is its size. It's just big, bulky, and ugly. I guess you put stuff inside it and you churn it up and spit it out either side. There is a staircase here you can pull down. Climb up there, I'll show you. So yeah, it's a chute that goes side to side. This opens up hydraulically, the door. Climb up the rest of the way in this little catwalk. Well, now you kind of see why it's so heavy. So it mixes feed, from what I understand. I'm looking at the sidewalls, it's pretty thick, so there's a lot of, look here, see? There's a lot of steel here, so it's definitely got some beef to her. She's heavy. All right, well now we kind of see what's going on up here and why it's so big and heavy and so forth. But it's not really it's not overweight at all. I'm undergross, and it's not that big. It is so annoying, these routes. Well, whatever, I guess it'll make a good video. We're gonna do it best we can. Now, the other drama is we have to be out of Ohio by sundown. We can be in Indiana, we can run all night. Illinois, we're fine. But we gotta be out of Ohio by sundown. That's not gonna be hard to do. It'll be pushing it a little though. Indiana, we're good at night. And then tomorrow we're gonna unload in Wisconsin, so we got plenty of time. It's just, we gotta get going from here. I forgot to mention, so I loaded this unit down in Maryland over at Sparrows Point, and then we had to change my permits on the fly. I had to run across to Canonsburg, Pennsylvania, and pick up another truck. One of our Widmeyer Express Company trucks lost the transmission, so I repowered his load, delivered it. It was another one of those blower trucks. That was our previous video. Delivered it in Baltimore, then deadheaded back to Canonsburg, picked up my trailer, and then dropped his off, obviously. So then we came out of Canonsburg in Ohio, crossed in Ohio, because you can't run Ohio at night. So I crossed in it right at the sunup. So now we're here. We're actually in Lodi, Ohio, here at the TA. And that's what we're doing. So if I can get down without busting my ass, we're good to go. So now we got our intro done. Let me set up our GoPros and then get on with this crazy wide load day. Alrighty, let the show begin. Let's go. Alrighty, boys and girls, we're good to go. GoPros are all set up. Good and happy. Beautiful. Yeah, all this madness here, that's our route. Send you a bunch of human traffic and crap because, you know, $2 a page, that's nothing. And then that's the rest of the route. Basically stay on 277. Well, you come in on 224, get on 277. That puts you on an Akron at 76, come across 76 here, load I-224 to 220. You stay on that to 224 to 250. 250, cross on 20. You stay on that, come down. Basically 6 comes down off around Toledo area, and you just follow 6. And then 6 you got to take into Indiana, up over the toll road, down 128, back down to 20. For a load that's no wider than my friggin' mirrors. It's so stupid and annoying, but nonetheless it is what it is. So we got about 5 to 6 hours to get Ohio done, and that's all we got left. And the whole thing with some states you can run at night and others you can't, that gets real old real fast. To be honest, I'm over it already. I already took my blood pressure pills this morning. Pill, only one. As long as we get through Indiana, we could do Illinois tomorrow, deliver in Wisconsin. We might be reloading on Friday, and then we'll be at my shop getting some work done over the weekend. By the way, this upcoming weekend for me is New Year's. Matt also flies back home from here, not from here, but from my house. He flies out on New Year's Day, not on Southwest. So he goes to where he's staying. Used to be, they didn't used to allow you to come off that road to come here in this truck stop. There's another YouTuber, pretty new to the YouTube game. He drives truck. I forget his thing. He does Specialized. he come across that same scale I did earlier over there on 76 coming this way, and they dinged him because he didn't have 2 flags on the side of his load. He only had 1. See, like that wide load right there, he's got a flag on each piece, one on the front, one on the back. Well, apparently that one DOT officer's a nitpicker when it comes to that one little thing. He had 1 flag on it, so they pulled him around and dinged him. But used to be, you couldn't even turn off this road to go to the TA to get fuel. And I pulled in there one time. Come on, cars, let's go. I mean, I have my own lane to turn into anyway. He pulled me in there just to check paperwork. Now, one of the things you have to have is, like, you can get your permits, but you also have to have your provisions, which is like, basically, it's a sheet of paper, or 2 or 3. Each state has one. It explains all the rules for all the oversized, overweight loads. Usually we just call them provisions. In Ohio, it's called the OS1A. That's the form it's called. Provision 18. So I think it was back in 2018 when it's revised. We have them all. I keep them all in my permit book. But anyway, he pulled me in there to go ahead and check, see if I had my provisions, which I did. Then he just asked me, he goes, where are you planning on getting fuel? Where are you planning on stopping? So I told him the TA, and he's like, can't do it. I'm like, why? He's like, because you're turning off the route for about 200 feet to get into the entrance to the TA. You'll need the township's permission to run on that road. I'm like, oh wow. I actually left him a comment. They said that on that video that he wrote. So, or not video he wrote, video he put up. So yeah, that scale, they tend to be sticklers. But you know, if you know what you're supposed to be doing, it's usually not a problem. I always put 2 flags on each side, though they also say they want it on the widest part of the load, but sometimes there's no real way to get a flag on the load. So I just put it at the edges, as close as I can to the edges of the load itself. I flagged the very rear of the trailer and the very nose of the truck. And that's how I do it. I've yet to have a problem with it, so it works. But yeah, if that guy forget his handle, so-and-so Specialized Hauling, he's watching the channel, welcome. Guys that can plug and play, like have a laptop computer set up in their trucks. Escorts will have it too. You know, escort vehicles for wide loads if you're really wide. And they'll set point to point. Like if I hit where we're going in Wisconsin, Friesland, Wisconsin, or Friesland, however you pronounce it, and I put it in the GPS, it's gonna just give me the straight route. It won't know an oversized route. There are programs on computers where you can point to point each turn you make that will guide you through the permitted route. I don't have that, but what I do have is I keep my Waze up. It's Waze, W-A-Z-E. It's a crowdsourced app. That's how it knows where there's cars on the road, potholes, police. You know, you can report them, and then it'll give it to anybody else using that app. That's how it knows where what is. But anyway, it kind of gives you a nice distance away from, you know, where exactly you are. So you kind of, if you have an idea where you're going, you'll see your turn before you get to it. It ain't like the old days, you had to have it all written out or check it on your trip odometer or something. Caught that other wide load too. Yeah, I am not a fan of wide load routing, especially when you're not really all that wide. It's like they make a big deal out of nothing. I'm also going to mention, only because I'll probably mention it until I find somebody suitable, we are trying to expand. I am taking some advice that I was given that, and it's very obvious at this point, I cannot work any harder than I do. I'm already way too busy with things that I'm doing. I have a goal of getting another truck running and putting a driver in it. Pretty soon I am going to start putting my step deck back together. The second driver probably will have to start pulling step deck, because one, I have the step deck trailer, and two, you got to work up to pulling a double drop unless you already have the experience in it. But I only own 2 trailers and 1 truck, and I have 1 truck that runs. I have another truck that don't. Well, it runs, but it don't run good enough for the road. And I have a step deck that needs to finish to put cross members and rub rails in it, and then that trailer will be ready to go. I already own it, so it makes more sense to go ahead and repair that trailer than to put it behind my, a truck that I'm looking to buy. I am starting to track some trucks in auctions. That might be where I buy my next truck. But to do all this, I need work at the shop. So the first help I'm going to hire is help at the shop. So what I'm going to need is a mechanic. I'm looking for somebody at a part-time basis, like a as-needed type deal. Pay is negotiable, obviously. The more you know, the more you're paid. But what I need is somebody who could work, I can work around their schedule to a point, they can work around mine, whatever. Hopefully somebody that's qualified enough to actually work by themselves. I don't have to sit and babysit them. You don't have to know how to work on trucks. I can basically teach you that. You have to have a decent mechanical aptitude, basically. You gotta know your way around a shop. If you can weld, that's better, but it's not required. I think I can teach most anything most people need, but you have to have a mechanical aptitude. So right now what I'm doing is looking to hire help in the shop. The shop is located somewhere near Freedom, Wisconsin and Seymour, Wisconsin, which is north of Appleton and a little west of Green Bay. Kind of, if you come up out of Appleton, come out of Green Bay, right there in the middle, right where you intersect. It's closer to Seymour than anything else, to be honest. So yeah, if you're in the area and you're over 18 and willing to work, then reach out. Looking to hire a mechanic at the shop. FSCheckShop@gmail.com. Right here on the bottom of the screen, FSCheckShop@gmail.com. That's where to send me an email if you're looking to work with me. I will eventually be looking for drivers, although I think I already have that problem solved. But if you don't want the job, I'm going to need somebody else. But right now I'm looking, I don't even have a truck, so don't bother sending me, I'll drive for you. I don't have a truck for you to drive. Nobody's driving Orwell, so. But right now I'm looking for a mechanic. Pay is based on what you know. That should help me get a lot of more work done at the shop, obviously. Now that's on the automotive side and on the trucking side. I would like to have help for working on that trailer, putting it back together, putting new tires, brakes, all that on there. Actually, the brakes, these tires, brakes have been done. But either way, that's the stuff you're going to be doing. Help me out with the Chevelle, the Mustang, automotive side of things, my own personal stuff as well. Either way, come work for me at the shop, do what I ask, you get paid, everybody's happy. That's how a job works, right? All right, with that, let's get on with the video. Gotta pay attention to my goofy ass routing around here. coming out of Baltimore. We came out of there, headed to Cannonsburg. I stopped in Breezewood, Pennsylvania. I was going to run a turnpike, you know, run 70 all the way out to 79 and come up to Cannonsburg, go to that Freightliner dealer. And stopped in Breezewood. I washed the truck. Probably asked, well, why? Well, it was really, really crusty and salty. And I knew I'd be doing work on it when I got home. I didn't want it to be completely crusted up. Although I thought it would be a little drier on our way home. The truck's already starting to get salty again, but obviously nowhere near as bad as it was. It was getting pretty damn crusty. Catching up to another wide load again. It'll be nice today. Nice weather today. Like 50 something. When you come out through here, though. I drive through sections like this and I often think about trying to buy a piece of land, build a house and a shop on it. I don't do that now. I probably spend way too much money on other things to have a nice piece of real estate. I rent, so I rent everything actually. But I want to buy it. See, that's the thing. I want to live in Florida, but I just, you know, with what I do and how work goes, I don't see how I can do it living in Florida. I've talked about that for a long time on this channel. I've just never figured out how to make that happen. I don't know. I think of all that when I see all this? Set of double stacks heading west right there on that main line over to our right side. Farm homes, and like that looks abandoned. Could have been a nice place. I don't know, maybe the road, they're worried about the road getting widened out and eminent domain buying them out. Toll road puts all the big loads down here. Can't run the interstate because the toll road is not willing to allow them, so they got to run local roads. Eventually the traffic gets too much and they'll widen out the road, and I don't know, would you buy a house right off a main drag like this? Things to consider. I've thought of all that. Look what happened in Indiana over there. Did a video about that when they were still knocking them houses down. That is the CSX locomotive distributed power unit right next to me over there. I know it's off camera. Chief, you better get your ass back in there. filmed any videos on FSC Railroad in quite a while. Probably should. I actually find it relaxing for the most part. I will again in the future. Matter of fact, I think our route on the west side of the state puts us right near a main line where we cross over, and there's a pretty good sized parking area right next to a water tower. I filmed a few trains over there. Maybe not a few, at least one. There's the main line, so if we got time, maybe we'll go over there, spend an hour, just sit and relax. See what I could find for filming. Thought that railroad channel would be something as an excuse to do some traveling, you know, take the camper out and go somewhere, go riding around looking for trains, you know, let the revenue from the channel offset some of the cost of the travel, just an excuse to go do something. I don't know, I enjoy it. If I could find a couple bucks in it, then nothing wrong with that. I'm also looking at a really special and rare truck to buy for the channel. If it'll ever haul freight, I don't know. I would love it to. But we'll see. All I'm going to say is we'll see. You guys will love it. You guys will love it. I don't want to say any more. I don't want to ruin it. I want somebody to find it and buy it. I want somebody to leave it where it is so I can find it and buy it. Or rather, I know where it is, I just gotta buy it. Gotta save my pennies for a little while. Man, look at the size of that horse right there. That big old Pertran? Draft horse. Horseback riding, actually. Last time I went was with Matthew. It was down to Texas. Went to a farm. They have this little area where they go riding. They running next to the service road, next to the interstate. And the lady said, you know, we could ride at our own ability. And I don't think Matthew has ever been on a horse. Jen was, but Jen's horse kind of figured out that Jen's kind of a pushover. So the guy kind of stuck more with Jen. I've been riding. Matt never did, but Matt's got a lot of moxie. So Matt's horse was kind of old. He was like 11 or 12 years old. I think mine was around that age. Maybe a little younger. And they were very willing to get up and go. So you got me and Matt riding horses. What do you think happened? Yeah, we might have raced them. Not about you, but a guy my weight, my size, on a horse at a slower gallop. That's very unnerving. So, yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, me and Matthew were racing horses on the side of the service road next to an interstate in Texas. That was fun. I always wanted to do like a horse riding vacation. Kind of like, I know I've seen the movie City Slickers, but something like, I haven't seen that in forever though. But something along that line where you go for a long ways out on like a pack trip where you might go out for a week or so. I think I've talked about that on video in the past. I'd love to do something like that. If anybody knows where to go, something like that, leave a comment. Oh, that'd be a collab for the ages. Could you imagine that? Oh, that would be so awesome, too. I was just thinking, can you imagine Jim Gentry and me on a pack trip somewhere out in God knows where, like Montana or something? Now, if he could peel that kind of time off, I'm willing to bet you he would do it. I know he bought a horse. He got 2 of them now, I think. Yeah, he's got 2 of them. But he's got property to keep them, so, and people to take care of him when he ain't around. Plus, he's got little kids. He's trying to teach the little kids responsibilities. Because everybody on that channel, everybody knows Braxton. He's like 11 now. But he's got other children, too, you've seen on the channel. The little guy, that little guy Hudson, he's my buddy. Braxton's cool, don't get me wrong, but Hudson gets big enough to drive, oh boy. That's like Braxton 2.0 right there, that little guy. Yeah, for sure, trucking is in their blood. I guess I'll have to text him, see if he wants to try to put something like that together in the summertime. That would be something. I literally just thought of it just now while driving and filming, so there's no pre-plan on that. So we caught up to our double stack. He's westbound. Yep, there he goes. So there's an eastbound, I'm assuming eastbound, I shouldn't speak out of turn, I don't know that. there's another train on a passing siding right there. So either the double stack has priority, or that other train has to wait for the westbound to clear so he can continue east. One or the other. And there are, the train stationary is sitting there. I don't know if it'll ever come in on camera or not, probably a rear camera. There's 2 units, east pointed west too. Alright, so apparently the westbound double stack has priority over the westbound mixed freight. Mixed freight being all I saw was auto racks. Sorry guys, it comes with filming railroads. Check it out, FSC Railroad. Hey, I enjoy it. Going up and over another line here. You see it on the Waze. Waze is very useful for rail fanning, I'll tell you that right now. Another double track main. I have no idea who that is. He's just gonna keep hammering. Amazingly enough, the signal ain't changed yet. Alright boys and girls, you should check out FSC Railroad. I got a lot of cool shots right here, including a broken train and one train swerving around 2 others. Believe that? I caught all that right here. Between that crossing there and that crossing there. And of course, 2 of them in front of me, right in front of the truck. Awesome. We got to get out of here. It's about 10 miles to the Indiana line. You can run Indiana at dark, but not Ohio. So we need to get this little buggy on out of here. It's only 10 miles-ish to the border. Bit of a K-turn right here. For whatever reason, I don't want trucks rolling through. That's just nobody hassle me for parking here. I'll respect that. I'll just do a little K-turn and roll out the way they want me to, I guess. That's all right. It's a good little spot. If any of you boys and girls are rail fans out there that also drive truck, this is a spot. I was here for probably 2 hours and I found 6 or 7, I lost track. 6 or 7 trains came through while I was here. That's good. That's actually, for filming rail trains, that's probably my best numbers yet as far as the amount of time I spent to get the footage. But either way, coming through here, you just spend a 30-minute break, park right there, get out of the truck, walk around. I think guys forget that. Like, you are allowed to get out of the truck. Anybody ever seen the movie Shawshank Redemption? Remember the old guy Brooks, or Books? Been a while since I've seen that movie. Anybody ever see the movie Shawshank Redemption? Remember the old man, Books or Brooks, talked about how he was institutionalized, like he didn't know how to live outside of prison. Well, truck drivers tend to get that way. They forget how to get out of the truck and be a human. Sometimes truck drivers get that way, institutionalized or trucker-institutionalized, however you want to try to make up a word, right? It's like guys, they're in the truck so long, they don't realize like you're allowed out of the truck. Like you can, it's a pain in the ass, but you can park somewhere, you can go somewhere, you can do things. You're not necessarily always trapped in the truck. But I see, you know, guys out there all the time. You might be one of them. You know, you'll take a 34-hour restart and you'll be away from home and you'll just sit in the truck stop day in, day out, day in, day out. It's like guys don't realize you can get out sometimes. So I've set up my cameras. So if there is a train going in either direction, I'll get a decent shot of it from the truck. If not, we'll just get a decent shot from the truck anyway. I guess here's my answer. There were maintenance away welders right there. Hello, Smokey Bear. A green signal signaling the eastbound traffic, so we're liable to head into one. But seriously guys, you gotta check out my railroad channel, FSC Railroad. Build that channel up a little bit. Kind of a hobby of mine. I was always hoping I could use it to try to offset the costs of traveling for vacation. Like a motorcycle trip for me and Jen, you know, take the Harley out, get a hotel somewhere off this line and just go from place to place. And you're amazed what you see when you just tuck into the little areas. You should check out that channel because there's a little bit with that grain elevator and what used to be maybe with that old gas station that we stopped for Subway. You know, when you stop in a little spot, you can find some history of what used to be, or maybe even what is. It's a very interesting part of life. But on my railroad video I was filming, I was looking at flashes. It looked like welding or something maybe was wrong, but it turned out it was welding. That's the kind of stuff I put in that video. Check it out, you might like it. Just me in a different element. Signals are off facing us. And they're off on this side too. It might not be a locomotive. Might might not be a train. Either that or they don't use those signals no more. I was able to catch footage of that old bridge right there. That was really cool looking. Wait, stone archway underneath that railroad. I don't know if the cameras caught it. Real pretty, real narrow. See, I love that stuff. God knows when that was built. Still in service too. They don't build stuff like that no more. Not even close. I had fun. I enjoyed today just hanging out inside the truck for a couple hours.